This channel discusses the presentation and debugging of controversial topics and beliefs. Some or all of the topics discussed may be emotionally triggering or otherwise upsetting. Viewer discretion is advised.
We're going to hear what Elizabeth April has to say about monkeypox.
Monkeypox, or Mpox as it's being referred to right now. I will say before we go into this information, if this video is taken down, please just hop over to my website. The video will be up there. I just don't know. I don't know how much they are really censoring this information.
This video has been up for 2 months, and it's still up as of today. This is Elizabeth April. She is a starseed who claims to be in connection with the Galactic Federation of Light and has claimed to have communicated with aliens on a regular basis, including a being that is supposedly called Connect. How this character is not in a rubber room right now is beyond me. Let's get into it.
So yeah, please just keep that in mind if anything weird happens to this video. Even last week when I was talking about the different alien agendas, my audio got really weird, so...
Oh yeah, your audio got real weird, kind of like how things happen because, I don't know, internet, bad computer. Elf Lady tried this bullshit a long time ago, and it was pretty obvious she was doing it herself.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been some, I don't know if it's the astrology, retrograde, or some sort of other forces taking place.
Other forces. Wow, that sounds neatly specific.
So I'm a remote viewer. That's what I do. That's sort of my main skill, I would say. And that's what I did today. I sat down, quieted my mind, cut all my cords, and I remote viewed into what exactly is going on with monkeypox.
Yes, because apparently she must have remote viewed into Monkeypox Incorporated or something like that. This whole thing just sounds really stupid.
And is this something that is naturally occurring?
Yes, monkeypox is a naturally occurring disease, just like many other diseases out there.
Or is it something more? And I think that if you're here, if you're on this community, maybe it's the first time being here, so welcome. But if you are here, then you probably already know that there is something going on. This is a very much so a planned...
So this was back in around August or September when Mpox was starting to make its rounds. Mpox, by the way, is a sexually transmitted disease. It can't, to my knowledge, be transmitted airborne. It's only through sexual fluids, blood, that kind of stuff. And it ended up being, it became present, but not to the level that COVID did. So everything that she talks about, once again, ended up being a dud.
I don't know if attack is the right word, but we're going to get into everything that I saw in just a moment. As always, guys, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, moving forward, I am going to be changing up YouTube a little bit. I want shorter videos. I feel like I produce a lot of content, so...
Yeah, some of her content will go into like hours long of just her just babbling about shit.
If you want more content, just head on over to my website. Even just yesterday, we did a whole hour of live channeling for my online community. So if you want, go check out that coaching call. But yeah, I'm going to be sort of minimizing YouTube moving forward, but I will still be coming on here and giving you some pretty awesome content.
Probably because she's so busy trying to spread her wings across all the other things like TikTok and whatnot. Anyway, to explain that little sudden shift to the season finale clip, I've been having all sorts of glitches happen just now with the video, but it seems to be working fine now. All I had to do apparently was shift a scene, and it's all good now.
All right. So, one more thing before we dive in. Coming up on September 7th, I am doing a live in-person workshop slash lecture, and that's going to be in Ontario. So, if you live in Ontario, my channeling to keep my remote viewing as clear as possible, free from other perceptions.
Yeah, we're not going to learn about her advertising, especially because it already happened.
Okay? Once again, take it or leave it. So here's what I saw. Yes.
Yep, there it is again. Take it or leave it. You know, it's kind of interesting. For someone who claims to be a psychic, you sure seem to say take it or leave it a lot, as if you almost know that's not necessarily going to happen.
The words that I wrote down was, this is an orchestrated attack. Those words in particular, orchestrated
Oh, no. We are not going down this fucking road.
attack really came through here. What is the purpose of...
Remember, this is the same person who earlier this year said with a straight face that the royal family has a bunch of clones. I need to create the clip from it, but yeah, she legitimately said that.
This orchestrated attack? Three things: depopulation, sterilization, and fear. Now, we already know that they have been focusing on depopulation, sterilization, and fear.
Who is they? Are they in the room right now? I know I'm stealing that from Telltale, but that works just as well here as it does on his show, in my opinion. Who is they, Elizabeth? Are they in the room? Are they watching us right now? Are they behind you? Who is specifically they?
For a number of years, and their attempts at this are just getting more obvious. Now, with the depopulation and the sterilization...
Where is your proof for this? Where is the proof that people want to be are trying to depopulate the nation? All you've got is your stupid remote viewing ability, which we've already revealed to be questionable at best.
Even though I didn't see this directly, I have a feeling, okay, but once again, take everything with a grain of salt. I have
a very tiny grain of salt, so minuscule that you have to scan it with an electron microscope.
Feeling that the depopulation and sterilization are more so coming from the vaccine that...
There it is. There it fucking is. The fear and the fear-mongering for the fucking vaccine. A vaccine which has been tested over and over again to have no effects. And even if it did, it's much better to take the vaccine than to actually get monkeypox in the first place.
They're going to give rather than monkeypox itself, but I did not confirm that. So once again, just sort of see if you resonate with that. And then also just to reiterate, because you know this, but when society is in fear, it keeps us in compliance. So please...
What does that even mean, Elizabeth? Are you saying that this is a good thing to be in fear? Not that there is any fear to begin with.
Keep that in mind. When we are fearful, we are more compliant, we are more dull, we are more willing to do things and allow others, such as the governments, to do things that we wouldn't normally allow. So,
yeah, this is basically anti-vax fear-mongering. You could throw in the COVID vaccine, it would fit in perfectly. You could throw in the DTaP vaccine, it would fit perfectly. The flu shot, the measles vaccine, all of it would fit perfectly. Once again, it's non-unique bullshit.
What else? Oh, yes. So once again...
Are you reading something? I thought you were receiving a transmitted message. It looks like you're reading something.
Pushing the vaccine as a solution, and then...
Well, yeah, I would say it's a much better solution than getting COVID or monkeypox.
And this is interesting, and I don't think I picked up on this with COVID, but now this sort of makes sense with, era one of what they're sort of pushing here.
Era one of what?
Vaccines are being used as experimentation.
No, not true at all. They did have a clinical trial. That part is true. But they've gone through it, they've been found to be safe, and they are being distributed. Remember years ago when people were saying that anybody who took the COVID shot back in 2021 were going to die 3 to 6 months later? Well, I've had every single COVID vaccine. I'm still here.
and also a loyalty measure. This is really fascinating. So I want
Oh, here we go. Is this going to go into some Mark of the Beast bullshit?
to just sort of explain this for a second. Vaccines are being used as experimentation, which means that every vaccination given has a serial code to it. And
That serial code is used by the company to determine the type of dose and where it is. That's all it is, though.
what I picked up on from this remote viewing, as always, take it or leave it, they are actually experimenting, not on all of the population, but on certain areas, locations of the population, and it's linked to the barcode of that vaccination.
No, not true at all. And all you've got to say otherwise is, oh, I closed my eyes and I had this thing that supposedly happened. You have no proof of this beyond your own thinks, feels, and dreams, Elizabeth.
And then they're sort of following up on where that person is at or what happened to them after said vaccination. So there is something.
Yeah, that was true during the clinical trials. Now it's not so true. I got my vaccine injection back in September. Nobody followed up with me. Yeah, I waited around the pharmacy for like 10 minutes, but no one was watching me then. Nobody was following me as I was walking around the store. After 10 minutes, I went back home. Nothing happened.
About this, an experiment that's going on. Not surprised.
It's not an experiment. It's been fully demonstrated to work. It has gone through the rigors required for it to be a valid medicine.
But a little horrified, as always. And then also as a loyalty measure, they're utilizing vaccinations, or at least in the future, right, especially with monkeypox, they will be utilizing vaccinations as a loyalty measure, and I'm sure.
What are you even talking about? So yes, you are using vaccines as Mark of the Beast bullshit. You're saying that we ought to get these vaccines in order to demonstrate loyalty? Loyalty to who, Elizabeth? You haven't named anything specific, even though you did this remote viewing supposedly. Who is they? Who are the people that we're going to have to swear loyalty to by getting the jab? You make no sense.
COVID was exactly that, a loyalty measure. Who here is loyal? Who here is programmed? Who here?
Literally nobody was forced to get the goddamn vaccine. Certain companies required you to get the vaccine, but the government itself did not say you have to get this vaccine, or else. The government is not the one forcing this on people. Private companies can, but that's on them. You're making no sense once again. Oh, no, you are making sense. You are literally lying. You are saying that the government, or whoever they are, is doing all of these things, is making people take these vaccines out of loyalty, but you have no proof. And your logic makes no sense anyway.
Is essentially compliant, right? And they are keeping track of that. And monkeypox, it feels like it's the exact same game, right? In a different package.
Do you want monkeypox, Elizabeth? I mean, I don't know what your sexual life is like, and I don't want to know, but you could get monkeypox if you want. I imagine that's going to be way worse than the fucking vaccine.
What else did I see? Once they decide to once they decided to change. Oh, sorry. One thing they decided to change is the visual aspect of the sickness. So this is what I picked up on as well. So
what are you even getting at?
One thing about COVID that I guess they, being the shadow government,
Okay, finally we get they. But now who's the shadow government? Who is this shadow government? What is this shadow government? Is it like a evil shadow president? Is it like the reptilians? I'm guessing, knowing Elizabeth April, it is the reptilians, but we'll have to continue on.
Illuminati, the secret group of individuals, the powers that were. And what we've really been picking up on recently, especially in the Galactic Federation summits, is that they are going to continue to try and deploy different agendas.
And what are these agendas, Elizabeth? Does it go beyond vaccines? Of course they do.
To program us, to dull us, to depopulate us. And so one thing that they are changing this time around is the visual aspect of it. COVID was never really visual.
It could definitely be very visual with the puking and the diarrhea and the coughing and the need for the ventilator. Did you have your head in the ground for the last 4 years, Elizabeth? What the fuck?
Right? I mean, it was a very internal type of thing that you felt, but monkeypox is quite visual. I mean, visually.
Following that reasoning, the colds, the flu, pneumonia, those are all internal too. Those aren't exterior, even though they kind of technically are.
You get bumps all over your body. So that's one thing that they decided to change, is what I picked up on. I'm like, okay, cool. Now, I do want to...
What has changed about monkeypox? It's been the same symptoms for forever, Elizabeth.
mention, this is not a fake illness, okay? It's not a fake illness. It is a real thing.
Well, at least she admits that.
But it is an orchestrated attack.
Of course, we have to have the asterisk.
Just like COVID, not a fake illness, but definitely an orchestrated attack.
Citation needed, please. Can you give me any proof that what is coming out of your mouth is true beyond this remote viewing that you supposedly did?
Right? We're talking about biological weapons here, right? Okay, so future timelines
Now, the only biological weapon is the words coming out of your mouth, Elizabeth.
and possibilities. This is where it gets kind of weird. So then I'm like, okay, this is what I see. Now what? What does the future hold with monkeypox? There are two...
Well, maybe monkeypox will get eradicated. You never know. But it'll probably mutate and change forms, which will warrant another vaccine. That's why we have to keep having COVID vaccines. That's why we have to have flu vaccines and almost every other vaccine. These diseases mutate. They change. And we have to change the vaccines along with them. Otherwise, they'll be ineffective and they will run rampant around the fucking world. Why can't you understand this, Elizabeth? Why can't any anti-vaxxer understand this?
main sort of timelines here, and it didn't really seem like one was more evident over the other. Typically when I see future timelines and one is more probable, the more probable timeline will just come through more vividly. It'll be more of a clear timeline. I saw both of these probably equally vividly, so it is kind of a 50-50 split right
And what are these timelines, Elizabeth?
now. So one timeline is monkeypox completely fizzles out. It really doesn't become a thing, mainly.
And that is kind of what happened. It did cause there was an outbreak, but it wasn't like a severely bad one.
Because people aren't buying into the narrative anymore.
That was not the reason. The reason was because the vaccine worked, and it's also really hard to get monkeypox in the first place because, once again, it's a sexually transmitted disease.
It is not the thing itself, it's how we respond to it that dictates their next move. All right? I don't see it really working in that way. Okay, and then obviously the other path, right, the other timeline is that this really truly does become a global thing once again. It becomes this global sort of epidemic, pandemic that we've seen before. What I did see for sure in the future, that no matter if it fizzles out or if it actually becomes something much bigger, people are going to fight against it.
Well, that is definitely true. I mean, you're literally fighting against it right now.
So clear that people are sick and tired of the governments. And
I know. And that's why you go and vote for Trump, who is going to basically turn the government into a dictatorship. But you don't seem to understand that. I don't actually know if Elizabeth is going to vote for Donald Trump, but it wouldn't surprise me if she did.
I mean, if you take a look at America and how they handled COVID and all of the lies and the deceit and...
Yeah, all the lies and deceits that came out of Donald Trump's mouth.
And the truth that comes out afterwards, there's no...
What truth? What are you talking about, Elizabeth? You just drop these things casually and then you just keep going. You've got to back this up. You got to give me some fucking specifics here.
Way they're going to get away with this. There's no way. It seems like people who have never really questioned things before are going to question it. Just like a lot of people question
literally every fucking vaccine that ever came, even when people were questioning the masks during the Spanish flu, just as they did during COVID. That shit's never going away. That's not new, Elizabeth. That's just stupidity.
Up in 2020 because they finally questioned the narrative that everyone was spewing. It seems like hopefully the rest of the group who has not awakened yet will start to really stand up for their right.
No, you stupid idiot. I don't want to get straight up into insults here, but there are few things that infuriate me like anti-vax bullshit. And this has been anti-vaccine bullshit.
And push back around this. So here's what I recommend. Stay calm, right? Avoid the news.
Yeah, there it is. Stick your head in the ground and avoid the news. Avoid negativity.
Around this. And stick to the highest vibration as always. And the easiest way to do that is through gratitude. And
And for the record, I didn't get the monkeypox vaccine. Not because I'm being defiant of the government, because once again, the government isn't forcing you to get the Mpox vaccine, but I'm aware of the fact that I am not at risk for monkeypox, given my circumstances in life.
Understand that this corruption will lead people to questioning the narrative and waking up. So it's not fun, but it's necessary. This is all a part of the deterioration of the system.
You seem to be really happy when you say that.
That we know, the system that has been keeping us down and holding us in place and keeping us honestly dull. So yes, absolutely this is an agenda. Absolutely this is a planned attack.
No, this is not a planned attack. And once again, you have no proof of this beyond what you supposedly came up with when you remote viewed. If you truly remote viewed into the World Health Organization or wherever the fuck you claim you went into, you would be able to find specific evidence that people could point to and that people could show. But you have not done that. All you have done is just said, well, I looked into this place with my spiritual body and I found they were doing this. You have no proof otherwise.
And it's up to us to either be compliant or to fight and stand against it and say, we have a voice, we have rights, and we're not going to allow you to take away those rights because of something that you're really pushing onto us. So yeah, keeping all of that in mind. And like I said, I'm going to stick to really short videos. If you are craving more EA content, please hop on over to my website.
EA content. No, I'm not craving more EA content. If by EA you mean Electronic Arts, hell no. If you mean Elizabeth April content, hell fucking no.
Website, we just had an amazing, we're talking next level coaching call where I went into passed away loved ones and
so you did a John Edward. Great for you, Elizabeth.
Past lifetimes and cosmic connections and soul missions just yesterday. So that's an hour, just over an hour long, up on the website. Check it out. And if you want,
okay, you know what? She is done, and so she's just promoting her own shit, and so we're done. I'm done with her. There are few things that infuriate me more than anti-vaccine bullshit. And the last 12 minutes and 46 seconds of this video have been nothing but anti-vax bullshit. She claims to be about fear-mongering and the government. The only fear-mongering that has come out of this is coming out of Elizabeth April's mouth. Once again, the government has not mandated that anyone take any form of vaccine. It has always been recommended. Private companies can make it, but they're not the government. They can set their own terms. And again, monkeypox was demonstrated to not be a problem, but here she is trying to hype it up as if it was going to be a major pandemic like COVID was in 2020. It just goes to show that Elizabeth April is no psychic. And the only thing crazy going on here is her anti-vaccine insanity.